Hello, Brobs. I'm going to do a card reading, something that I don't particularly believe in, but I've done dozens of times for the scientific exploration of chance and what have you. The book I usually use, or mostly use because it's really easy, is How to Tell Fortunes with Cards by Wenzell Brown. And I'm using Virginia Slims Baby You've Come a Long Way deck, which was from the, I believe, 1985, Philip Morris. This deck only has one joker, and it is missing this card and one of the two jokers. I don't remember which. But yeah, a normal deck would have those. Some people don't use jokers, some people do. I prefer to use it just because it's more or less a wild card. The layout that I use is also as such from Wendell Brown's book, where you get a grip on the current, on the querent, and then this is the present, that's the future, things to be done, etc., whatever it means. The positions in the spread are, here it is, represents either the querent, his personality and the nature of his problems, or the primary influences which are moving through his life. The cards which flank the central cards, number 2 and 3, are the most important cards in the spread. They clarify the personality of the querent and provide basic information regarding the situation in which he finds himself. A face card in the middle spread may represent the querent. The 3 cards in the upper right wing indicate the course into which the querent's life would normally flow unless checked. The 3 cards in the upper left offer the querent an alternate route. Blah, blah, blah. The 3 cards in the lower left wing are generally guideposts which will assist the querent of making his decisions. The 3 cards in the lower right wing usually represent specific forces at work outside of the querent. And what I usually do is I get all these set up. I read the literal definitions of what he puts for each card. And I'm sure he's borrowed from other sources, so it's not like he just designed this. But I believe he goes by the history of the meanings of each card and then extrapolates it into his own meaning, so to speak. So what I do is I go through each of the 5, bring up the 3, and then make a summary of what I believe. A summary of that one, 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 and then a final summary of what the cards are trying to say. Obviously, it's mostly generalizations, but you never know. Sometimes it's more specific as it turns out. So what happens is you lay them out in this pattern. I will move the book aside. You lay them out. First card, second card, third card. Then you move to the middle one here, middle one here, middle one here, middle one here. There, doop, doop, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. And then you're done. I mean, as Brown states in the book, it's the pattern is more or less arbitrary. It's the intent of the card and the symbolism of the cards. So however it was supposed to work out is how it's going to work out, is how I take it. And each time before you lay down a card, you shuffle the deck. And you're supposed to speak to the querent, the dealer is. I can't remember the exact name of the dealer. I think you're just whoever you are. The querent shuffles the deck, and then when he's ready, he lays it down. And then he goes to the next phase, etc. You're supposed to talk to the querent, but my way of scientific way is not to speak to the person or ask them any questions, as it influences the summary of what you think the cards are. So my pattern has always been to lay out the cards with the person, tell them what to do, and obviously most of the people I'd done it with, I knew them, so it wasn't that great of a leap. It'd probably be more revelatory if you did it with a complete stranger, asked no questions and then gave a reading and then it worked out. But obviously, it's pretty hard to go up to a person and say, "Hey, you want a card reading, buddy?" So yeah, I will shuffle and then lay it out and then figure out all the details and then report on that on the next video. But let me shuffle, since I can't shuffle since I have a phone in my hand. It's impossible to shuffle. I will shuffle, then lay them out. I will take the cards off the top after shuffling. Obviously, you're not going to take the card on the bottom because then you can grab whatever you like. So my first card, my main card, is the Ace of Clubs. This will be my current situation according to the luck of the draw of the cards. Let me shuffle again. My second card is a King of Clubs. I'll turn it around just because now I will leave it the way it was. Brown states that one should rhythmically shuffle and think about what one wants to accomplish with the reading. And as I said, the let me look up what the person is called. I believe that he's just called the reader, which makes sense. And why this pertains to a book or a channel on reading, I will tell you. Well, Brown will tell you. A Brief History of Playing Cards. The oldest book in the world was disguised as a pack of playing cards. This is the Tarot of the Bohemians, and spiritually, it is the ancestor of all packs of playing cards sold today. Actually, although the origin of playing cards is lost in obscurity, it is certain that they predate the printed word. So yeah, basically playing cards were the original books. So how better else to extrapolate them? The essence of books than through playing cards and a reading of such. Obviously, playing cards have changed and evolved from tarot, but that's a different story. All right, let me take another card here. All right, we have an Eight of Hearts. We shall see what that pertains to. Luckily, I have forgotten most of the meanings of the cards, and you're supposed to memorize them. If you're going to give a proper reading that's live, you're supposed to know the essence of the cards. Luckily for me, as I stated, I don't believe in this as a portent of magic, but this book will give me the answers, and the only time I've ever done a live reading where I gave explication was with the help of the book. So let's shuffle again. And we have a Seven of Spades up in the right quadrant. As I stated, I'll go from there. Inside, 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 middle, 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 outside, 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 outside. Let me shuffle again. And we've come up with a 10 in the cat quadrant. If anybody is viewing this and knows the history of cards or knows the meaning of such cards, you may have an early interpretation, although it's kind of incomplete if you don't have the full circle. Let me shuffle some more. And we have a Three of Spades in the bottom left quadrant. So what it portends to has nothing to do with a horse, or maybe it does. I don't know. This is an old reading board that I picked up at an estate sale for $5. Some people claim it's a Ouija board. I don't believe that, but I don't believe in Ouija boards either, bruv. So there you go. Let me shuffle further. And we have an Eight of Diamonds. Obviously, if you have 4 eights or any card specific, what do you call it, the suit or the number of the card, if you have 4 of them, obviously there's more intent with those 4. If you have 3 or 2, there's all kinds of details, which is why it takes me several hours to figure out what the spread means to each person. And as I've said, I try not to think of it in objective terms to the person if I know them. Obviously, I know myself, so I can't really tell myself what I don't know or do know. So there we go. Let me pull up another card. And our next card is a Two of Hearts. While shuffling, I was thinking about the person I'm giving these cards to is one of my coworkers. I'm also giving him a bag of towels. Don't ask why. There's no deep meaning to it, but yeah, so that's what I was thinking about while shuffling these cards. So who knows what the influences are. Other influences I won't mention, but that's what I've been thinking about the last 2 or 3 shuffles. So my child's included, other people, etc. Time to shuffle. And we're back with a Queen of Diamonds in the upper left middle quadrant. These cards are rather shiny and stiff, so they shuffle really well. So that's nice. And also, since this is a person who was local to the area, and I don't really know anything since I purchased the cards at their estate, that portion goes into it, local history, estate sale, they're dead, etc., etc. So that may play into it. Who knows what it means? Nobody knows what it means. I'm giving the cards away, so it could mean something else, etc., etc. Let's move on. The upside down Queen of Hearts. It's curious that so far all the face cards have been upside down. Will that give meaning to it? I think it does set a pattern here. It does set a pattern. There's the aerial view, and we shall shuffle and continue. And we come to a King of Diamonds. As I've stated, this is a feminist deck, so the King is a woman. Doubtful that plays anything into it, but hey, it's like I said, I didn't do the deck for a specific reason other than I found it, and my coworker also collects cards for completely different reasons than I do. I do it in accord with books and the history of books. So there you go with that. And we have the King of Diamonds in the lower right quadrant. Let's go for the upper right quadrant, the dog quadrant. And I've come up with the 6 of diamonds, the diamonds. What do we have so far? 3 diamonds, 4 diamonds, 5 diamonds, 3 hearts, 2 clubs, and 2 spades. So it's looking like a diamond-centric spread. I mean, I think the real, probably the best approach to this would be to approach each card with a meaning and give it its own separate video, but that seems like a long effort. So we'll go on and go to the upper left outside quadrant with this next shuffle. All right, we have it, a 6 of spades in the upper left outside quadrant. And that's all I'll say about that. I'll move on to the next one for brevity's sake. And a dog barking outside. And we come up with the Ace of Hearts. As I said, I'm giving these cards away, so I'll probably just reduplicate the layout with my own 2 decks that I have. Since I have 3, that's why I'm giving 1 away. Plus it's incomplete, even though it's the dead person and they're local. I would like to keep it, and maybe I probably should, but I've already promised it, so unless something insane happens tonight where I must keep the cards, I can always get them back from the person since I worked with them for a few years, so let's do this. On that shuffle, I was thinking about one of the local great influences on the paranormal, who was Gondella the Witch, who was a 300-pound, maybe she was 200 pounds. No, I think she was 300. No, that seems impossible. Maybe she was, though. 300-pound witch named Gondella who did card readings. And obviously she did all the sort of paranormal things you expect, but during private readings at people's homes and at parties, she would do card readings. I doubt she did this exact way, but she was somewhat of an expert at both the tarot and cards, but I believe she preferred using playing cards, which influenced my usage of such. So now we have a final spread, and now it's just needs to be interpreted. What do we got? A final count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hearts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diamonds. So it's evened out. And we have 3 spades and 2 clubs. The clubs were both in the beginning. I don't know what it portends to with the ace and the ace of clubs in the middle, but I shall find out and report as such. All right, that's all for now. Goodbye, bruv. Goodbye.